Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, another video. This is James Rule, XRP, the James Rule Crypto Show. You probably hear a jet flying in the background overhead here in Southeast Texas. Anyway, we're going to cover a couple things today. It looks like the Republicans in the House in the United States are trying to get answers out of Gary Gensler in the SEC pertaining to Ethereum and PROMETHEUM. And also, we got some late breaking news on Coinbase today and what the SEC is getting away with. We're going to cover it, and we're going to go through some of it in detail. Wow, that's a nice jet flying out there. It might be the couple of those army jets or something. It's pretty loud. But anyway, we're going to cover that and we're going to have fun. I'm not a financial advisor. We're not going to look at numbers. We're not going to look at sponsors. I'm not going to play a crap load of useless videos today because a lot of content creators out there, all they do is play videos. Let's play this video. Let's play the... No, we're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it. Let's go ahead and get started. Tom Emmer at GOP Majority Whip. First of all, let me give you my response to his post. I said, who is going to hold the SEC accountable? I don't see anything being done but a bunch of he said and she said chatter. Tom Emmer, you guys need to do something. You guys need to do something. Send Gary Gensler a subpoena. Make him talk. Put him in front of the stand. Here's Tom Emmer's post here. And it pertains to the financial services GOP. It says Republicans are holding SEC Chair Gary Gensler accountable. Really? Here's Tom Emmer's response. The SEC and the CFTC have an extensive record asserting that Ethereum is not a security. So why does PROMETHEUM, an SEC registered broker-dealer, plan to custody ETH? I had a letter with the financial committee and my colleagues to Gary Gensler to get some answers. Well, there was an article written up today. U.S. lawmakers demand SEC clarity on Ethereum's asset classification. We're going to look at it. Thanks to Crypto Slate. Thanks to Mike Dalton. It says the lawmakers said that this lack of clarity has exacerbated the uncertainty within the digital asset ecosystem and made it harder for companies to comply with regulation. No shit, Sherlock. The SEC regulates as they go. They make up the rules as they go, and they're suing companies. They're making millions upon millions of dollars, not knowing what they're doing and making these companies look like crap. All right, calm down, James. I've already had my coffee. I've already had my orange juice and water and all the above, so we're good. A group of Republican lawmakers, including the chairman of the House Financial Services Committee and House Committee on Agriculture, has formally requested SEC Chair Gary Gensler to provide clear guidance on the regulatory stance regarding the custody of non-security digital assets by special purpose broker-dealers, SPBD. The March 26 letter specifically demands clarity on the status of Ethereum and further requests the regulator to establish clear definitions for various terms related to crypto, digital assets, securities, and investment contracts. The letter was signed by 48 members of Congress, including House Financial Services Committee Chair Patrick Mahenry and the House Committee on Agriculture Chair Glenn Thompson. Lawmakers asked for a response to their request by April the 9th. Ethereum status. According to the letter, the SEC has failed to propose a rule or provide comprehensive guidance for asset classification, and the term digital asset securities remain undefined. Lawmakers said that despite a public record from both the SEC and the CFTC identifying ETH as a non-security digital asset, there is a concern over the lack of transparency in the SEC's SPBD regimen and the potential regulatory implications of allowing such custody service. The letter poses a question. Is ETH a digital asset security? The query is followed by several other questions depending on the answer. The letter comes in the wake of PROMETHEUM Inc.'s announcement that its subsidiary, PROMETHEUM Ember Capital, a FINRA-approved SPBD, plans to offer custody service for Ethereum to institutional clients. They emphasize the alarming scenario posed by PROMETHEUM's account arguing that it could lead to irreparable consequences for the digital assets market if allowed to proceed under the current regulatory framework, which is bullshit, which does not explicitly permit SPBD custody of non-security digital assets, exacerbating the issue. Highlighting the discrepancy between the SEC's enforcement actions and the historical recognition of ETH as a non-security digital asset, the letter criticized the SEC for not providing comprehensive guidance or rules for the digital asset market regarding asset classification. The lawmakers said that this lack of clarity has exacerbated the uncertainty within the digital asset ecosystem, complicating the ability of regulated entities to comply with SEC regulations. Of course. The letter also highlights the broad implications of the SEC potentially classifying ETH as a digital asset security, including the impact on CFTC registered commodity derivative exchanges and the available of ETH futures for trading. Such a decision could have significant repercussions for market participants, potentially eliminating access to essential risk management tools and causing significant price dislocation across the ETH market. The letter concludes by the warning of a chilling effect on U.S. digital asset markets should regulatory uncertainty persist, emphasizing the importance of clear and consistent regulatory guidance to ensure continued growth and innovation within the digital asset space. Tom Emmer, 47 others of y'all. What the hell are you going to do? You're not going to get Gary Gensler to speak or answer these questions because he don't know what he's talking about. You know, the banks have their hands so far up Gary Gensler's ass, he's not going to answer any questions. He's going to say, well, I'm waiting for Congress to tell me. Well, this is Congress telling you, Gary Gensler, you stupid asshole. Here we go. Here's the Congress of the United States to the Honorable Gary Gensler. And what they're doing, they're going in here and they're saying, we need to know about PROMETHEUM. We need to know about Ethereum. We know that William Hinman in 2018 declared Ethereum not a security. So we're just going to go down to the nitty gritty here. We're going to go down to the questions that they are asking Gary Gensler, and they want some answers. Please respond in writing to the following. Bear with me. We're going to go through these. The SEC has used the following term to describe digital assets: crypto tokens, crypto security tokens, crypto asset securities, digital asset securities, and digital asset securities that are investment contracts. Please provide definitions for each item and explain how they differ from one another. Can you do that, Gary? Number 2, has the SEC engaged in any discussions with the CFTC regarding whether ETH is a digital asset security or the impact of ETH being considered a security on the commodity derivatives markets? Please provide the dates, the participants, and the substance of those decisions, and provide copies of any draft or final documents, including agenda related to those discussions. Number 3. In June of 2022 interview, you reportedly announced that the SEC was working with the CFT to establish a memorandum of understanding to create a formal deal to ensure that trading in digital tokens had adequate safeguards and transparency. Please provide the dates, the participants, and the substance of those discussions, and provide copies of any draft or final agreement between the SEC and the CFTC. Number 4. Is ETH a digital asset security? Gary, is ETH a digital asset security? Number 5. If ETH is a digital asset security, please answer the following additional questions. A. How and when did the SEC determine that ETH was a digital asset security? Please provide a comprehensive analysis. Gary. The SPBD regimen requires an effective registration statement or an exemption from registration. Please explain how the SEC views ETH's compliance with this requirement. C. In addition to registration under Section 5 or qualifying for an exemption from registration, is ETH required to also be registered under Section 12G of the Securities Exchange Act of 1934? D. Has the SEC determined that ETH can be resold pursuant to Rule 144? If so, please provide the analysis. E. Does the SEC believe that CFTC registered commodity derivatives exchanges and future commission merchants are violating the federal securities laws by continuing to offer and facilitate trades in ETH derivatives? If so, has the SEC or the CFTC communicated this position to those entities? F. A contract for the future delivery of a single security is a security future and subject to a joint SEC-CFTC oversight regimen. Does the SEC believe that ETH is eligible to underlie a security future? If so, will the SEC work with the CFTC to jointly designate ETH as a valid underlying security for a security future contract prior to PROMETHEUM Capital custodying the asset? G. In recent enforcement actions against digital asset trading platforms that offer ETH for trading, the SEC has failed to identify ETH as a security. Please provide the rationale why the SEC has not referenced ETH in its complaints against those trading platforms. Does the SEC plan on amending its complaints in those actions to include allegations that the platforms offering trading of ETH in contravention of the securities laws? Number 6. If ETH is not a digital asset security, please answer the following additional questions. Gary, can you hear me? A. Has the SEC revised the SPBD statement to permit the custody of non-security digital assets? If so, when and how was this information communicated to the public in PROMETHEUM? Please provide a detailed analysis of how the SEC reached this conclusion. If the SEC has not revised this SPBD statement, will the Commission prohibit PROMETHEUM Capital from providing custody of ETH in violation of the SPBD statement? Oh boy. Gary has until April the 9th of 2024 to answer these questions. I cannot wait to see his answers. I cannot wait to see those answers. Here we go. There are significant challenges for those navigating the digital asset regulatory regimen. The digital currency asset regulatory landscape presents various risks to consumers, investors, and market participants. Allowing one market participant and regulation by enforcement to dictate the future of digital asset regulation is unacceptable, Gary. This is precisely why Congress is working to set guidelines for firms that participate in the digital asset markets. We appreciate your attention to these critical matters and look forward to your response no later than April the 9th, 2024. Here are the 48 signatures: Patrick Mahenry, Glenn Thompson, French Hill, Dusty Johnson, Tom Emmer, Warren Davidson, Frank Lucas, Austin Scott, Pete Sessions, Doug Lamoffa, Bill Posey, David Rouser, Blaine Luchtenmeyer, Don Bacon, Bill Hazinga, Mike Buss, Ann Wagner, Tracy Nann, Andy Barr, Randy Fenstra, Roger Williams, and so on and so on and so on. And they carbon copied this document to the Honorable Roston Benham of the CFTC Chairman, Robert W. Cook, President and CEO of Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, and Thomas W. Sexton, CEO of National Futures Association. Gary, we are waiting for your answers. You have until April the 9th to get them out there. Here's a good one for you. If Coinbase and Ripple and all the above hadn't had enough shit already, it looks like the SEC has won another ruling and they could proceed with the Coinbase lawsuit. It says Coinbase's motion to drop the SEC's case against the exchange was denied in court, allowing the regulator to proceed with its lawsuit. And I'm only going to read a brief part because I've covered quite a bit, and I'm going to leave a link to everything covered today in the description of this video. A United States court has denied Coinbase's motion to dismiss the United States Securities and Exchange Commission's case against the exchange. The decision made by U.S. District Judge Catherine Fales allows the SEC to pursue its lawsuit against Coinbase, which alleges that the exchange operates as an unregistered exchange broker and clearinghouse agency, according to the March 27 court documents that state The court finds the SEC has sufficiently pleaded that Coinbase operates as an exchange, as a broker, and as a clearing agency under the federal securities laws, and through its staking program engages in the unregistered offer and sales of securities. The SEC sued Coinbase in June of 2023, alleging that the crypto exchange violated federal securities laws by listing 13 tokens it alleged were securities, which they just pulled out of a hat. The firm was seeking an order to drop the case, questioning the SEC's authority over crypto exchanges. Now, what did the judge in the Ripple case state? That secondary sales of XRP are not securities? Why wouldn't that apply to all of the tokens listed on Coinbase? Hello? Coinbase argued that the transactions facilitated on the platform do not qualify as financial securities and thus fall outside the SEC's purview. It's absolutely correct. However, the regulator argues that at least some of those transactions constitute investment contracts. I'm not going to read the rest of it. I'll leave it in the description of this video. I'll tell you what, SEC is being put on the stand. For the past several years, the SEC has gotten away with regulation by enforcement. They have made up the rules as they go. They have received millions, if not billions of dollars for unlawfully suing these fintech companies, and it has to come to an end, people. You're watching the James Rule Crypto Show. I get the news out there. I've been attending a lot of Twitter Spaces, chat conferences. I've been giving my 2 cents. I went over with the community today, the scams, how my account got hacked, and how they can prevent themselves from getting hacked like me. That's why I'm a crypto teacher. I love getting it out to the masses. So subscribe to my channel, share. I'll be back soon. My name is James Rule XRP. Hey, and guess what? I told you so.